Since I was little, I had that urge to create. I would use everything around me to make new toys, clothes, or just invent something out of the things I could find in the backyard or my grandma's closet.
I have always liked to write. I like to write about real life and feelings. Sometimes I say that I feel too much, that I have a lot of reactions and then my mind does not stop. Writing is a way to calm me down.
I love how art can be symbolic. Whether it's to celebrate or deal with a difficult situation, creating is a channel to express how I feel. I was born in Saigon, Vietnam. After the war, my parents and I left on a small fishing boat, and while we were out at sea on the fourth day, pirates attacked us and we were left stranded. Shortly after, a U.S. Navy ship called the USS John Young rescued us. I was only 17 months old. After months in refugee camps, we made a home in Dallas, Texas. I became a believer 5 years ago when I was 34. And now I see that God has always been in my life. He rescued my parents and me, and now He's led me to Christ for the Nations. I also realized that my ministry is using photography to help others. In 2014, I went to Romania with a battery-operated printer, and I was giving free portraits to the Roma people. It was an impoverished town without electricity. We didn't speak the same language, but their smiles said it all. I remember there's this one mother, and when I gave her her family portrait, she started crying because it was the first one that she has ever received.
I am from Kazakhstan, bordering Russia and China. It is a Muslim country and it's a melting pot of different ethnicities and cultures. I am from the most beautiful city surrounded by tall mountains, and I'm the first believer in my family so far. I was pursuing a career and education that would possibly pay really well, because that was the thing that was expected. I didn't know anything about CFNI. In fact, at that time I was in China, and it was a supernatural experience. From the beginning to the end, God just orchestrated every step. And today I'm here at CFNI by God's providence. I'm passionate about visual arts, and especially the storytelling component of it. I try to implement different techniques and mediums. I love to mix photography, design, and illustration. God revealed Himself first as a creator, and it is in our nature to create.
As an international student, one of the biggest challenges is the distance from my home, family, and our food.
I'm from the Amazon in Brazil. Manaus, my city, it's a pretty big one, just like others around the world. But we have the privilege of having buildings and trees on the same avenue, so it is kind of amazing. My father runs his own business, and God has been faithful for a long time providing for us. I have a business degree, and I was studying to be a Portuguese teacher when God called me to CFNI. I'm the youngest of 3 children, so when I was first moving to the US, one of great friends of mine gave me this plush cat, and he doesn't have a leg, and it reminds me of one of my cats, and his name is Bento. He was inside of a plastic bag on the street, and my mom saw a post on Facebook of a guy who found him, and she convinced my father to get it because we all love animals a lot.
A challenge I face when creating is spiritual warfare. You literally fight for each piece you create. You really do need to know God close and be filled with the Holy Spirit.
It is hard to make photos, edit videos, and do visual effects. Sometimes my mind says I'm not good enough, and sometimes I let this get to me. But I know that God has blessed me with the understanding and the power of knowledge, so I can learn new things each and every day.
There's been times when I felt like, oh, I won't be able to create something good because I don't have the best material. But I've come to realize that something simple can have such a profound meaning. In my dorm, there's a faded paper bird that's very meaningful to me. Besides being a student at Christ for the Nations, I am also a neonatal ICU nurse. And about 6 years ago, I was caring for this patient and his mom was making paper birds at his bedside. I asked her, why birds? And she told me it was because they could fly. At the time, her baby had IVs and wires connected all over him. So the birds were symbolic of him getting better and being able to go home one day. Baby Jack did get better, and he got to go home. So today we are visiting Jack. I took care of him about 6 years ago, and he has the mother who made birds at his bedside. And Marcia could not be here. Her flight is delayed, but she was supposed to be. So here she is.
Hi, I'm Jack.
I love how God shows up. We can get to see and testify miracles every single day.
I love the way God moves in this place.
I love that we can get to be friends with people from all over the world. And I love the fact that the staff is always so helpful and willing to walk with us and help us grow in this path.
Creativity goes beyond just your talents and gifts. It is a main skill set that displays the character of God.
Each and every day of our lives we tell a story.
Visual storytelling is just so powerful. It goes beyond the borders and limits. It speaks in the language of feelings and emotions. And there's the same in every culture and language. And it's the best way. It opens people's heart to receive. It shapes a whole culture and identity.
Creating connects us.
Every single story matters.
Why do I create? Because I don't want to miss an opportunity to glorify God.
Oops,
You don't have to do the motions. Just say Romans 10:9.
I do want to do the
Just
motion.
don't. Okay, ready? Romans 10:9.
Let him do the. It's okay.
Okay, you can do it. Say Romans 10:9.
Romans 10:9. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Now you can